When you type the website in, it goes to your Patreon.
I saw some people saying that.
No, I typed it in and I saw it. I don't know what plan that is. I started to think a little deeper. I ain't like that shit, but I liked it at the same time. When you type videovixens.ca, it goes to Joe Budden's Patreon. Type it right now.
Where's my check? Where's my check? That's what I want to know.
Hey, look at the camera.
CHEQUE. Okay, check. Apparently so.
But you don't own that picture.
Who says?
Photographer.
Do you own that picture?
You didn't buy it from a photographer, man. You didn't buy it from that photographer.
What's good, Elevators? It's your boy Elevation here with another episode of the JBP Elevated, where we speak on the Joe Budden podcast and all of his co-hosts on and off the pod. Miss Ford is in the building. Welcome back, Melyssa. Can't say that you were missed, but I myself am happy that you returned. Because of course you came back with some salacious information. Not you per se, but you're involved in it. Joe? Did you set up a link in Canada with Melyssa Ford's picture on it to trace back to your page? Oh man. And Flip, are you the one that called it out? Flip. Am I gonna have to dig in the archives? I very succinctly remember telling you the exact same thing could happen to you, and everybody thought I was talking crazy. Gave your face to that nigga. That's crazy. So what happens? Because and later on you say that it's not exclusive. So what happens when his merch outsells your merch, nigga, with your fucking face? What happens when your image and likeness is more tied to the JBP than it is with Trevor fucking Robinson III? These are real things, nigga. To me, that's way worse than a 360, nigga. That's way worse than it. And this is Joe just telling you one thing. This is one item, nigga. What happens when you come out with and you see fucking pants with your face on it and actual shirts and wristbands? What happens when you see your face on a sticker, nigga? What happens when you see your face on Joe Budden's merchandise, nigga? Dog. And I'm just speaking merchandising. Y'all know how I feel about Joe and wanting to sell the shit. What happens when I have your face and can put that on my portfolio? Nigga. You gave your face to that nigga. Remember that? This is the tactic that I was speaking on. What happens when somebody puts your face on their merchandise? What happens when somebody uses your face to draw attention to their product? Melyssa Ford is pissed, and rightfully so, because this is a nasty situation. Whenever it comes to your likeness, we have to put way more thought into that than you normally would with any other job. You can't just fill out an application and show up to work. No. What is this picture being used for? Every single picture we take. If I'm not affiliated with the Joe Budden podcast or the Joe Budden network as I'm taking this picture, you can't get this pic from me. I would not be on any episodes of BTS. If you let one thing slide, oh man, I'm sorry guys, a domino effect just occurs. And I actually feel bad for Melyssa. I typed it in real time. Oh dang, it really does go to Joe's Patreon page. Dang, this is sad. I thought you got suspended. I didn't say fired, but I was leaning towards you getting fired. Joe said, if you're going to be here, I'm going to get bread off you one way or another. It really hit home with me when Imani said that you're supposed to be the B mic. You do have the popularity, you do have the face, you do have the appeal to be the B mic. But you're not interesting enough on the mic. And let me not even shoot shots at Melyssa because she's not ever given the floor to show who she actually is. So let me not shoot at Melyssa. This is a Joe issue. This is a JBN issue. This is an Ian issue. Joe was quick to say, Melyssa, do you own that photograph? Why would he say that so quickly and so easily unless he knew who owned the photograph? Does Joe himself own the photograph? Does he own the rights to an iconic Melyssa Ford picture? And is he now getting people in Canada to subscribe solely based off of her imagery and her likeness? Flip, I hope you yourself are taking the most notes of this, because I still haven't seen a picture better than the one they dropped whenever Improv 2 was coming out. So I would be asking questions more so for myself than anybody else, especially Melyssa. You ain't got shit to do with what's happening with Melyssa. Melyssa is grown and she can take care of that on her own. But, hey, y'all got a couple of things from me that I signed and we haven't really seen a conclusion or an ending to this contract. What are you using these things for? And Mark went right back into his pander bag. I believe you, Mel. I'm not going to go against Mel. He's not going to ruin that part of his imagery. So notice, now we definitely got to pay attention to what Mark's doing whenever Melyssa pisses him off going forward. Let's see how Mark reacts, because it's going to happen. Melyssa pisses everyone off. Everyone up there pisses everyone off, but everyone doesn't react the same to everyone, if that makes sense. So I'm definitely going to be paying attention to how Mark reacts whenever Melyssa gets on his nerves and irks him. But this is something that's very, very telling. I keep speaking money. I keep speaking contractual. I keep speaking what's going on behind the scenes. I keep speaking business. Because unfortunately, when it comes to this entertainment sphere, you don't just get to speak behind the mic and hope everything is kosher. We've been hearing for years. We have been hearing for decades, at half a century at this point, how people have been getting fucked. How people will go into these deals, and because they're getting the limelight, or because they're getting a spotlight, or because they're getting a couple of dollars up front, they think the deal is kosher until 10, 15, 20 years down the line happens, and you look back, and Joe, in my head, is selling the ship, and he gets a $400 or $500 million deal for all of his shit under his network, and you're looking back 10, 15 years from now like, damn, that $20K a month was nice as hell when I was getting it. But Joe is still eating off of these episodes. And I get it. He's putting all the money up. He's invested in the product. He's doing everything to own all the rights. But if you're going to be a part of the entertainment sphere, you got to get percentage and equity. And when I say these things, just the words alone, you get the connotation that I need half or I need a quarter. No, hell no. Because you didn't invest in it like you should have been from the jump, because you're not putting money up front, because you're not putting the time and equity and sweat that Joe is and the JBN, you don't deserve those type of percentages. But yes, I'm expecting a 0.25 or 0.5% of every episode I'm in. And it doesn't sound like a lot at all. It sounds minuscule. But over time, especially if the ship gets sold, that shit adds up. There's people with stock options in major conglomerates that have probably 0.0001% of a company, and that still leads to a six-figure portfolio. But we're not thinking about that in the moment. And at the time, Melyssa's not paying attention to what she did in her video vixen days. She's not paying attention to the videos and the rights that the people hold that shot the videos. So be on the lookout for more things coming up like that, Melyssa. Be on the lookout for things coming up in Hype Williams videos that you shot. And the remember when you big pimpin'? If you see clips from that video pop up out of nowhere and it's being used to generate more money and you're not receiving anything from it. This is why I speak on these things. This is why if you're going to be a part of a startup, because in essence that's what this is, you have to come out of pocket too. You don't just get to sign a piece of paperwork saying you're an owner. You have to come out of pocket. And since y'all likeness is what y'all sell, you goddamn right. Every part or every opportunity I'm in, or every opportunity I'm given, I'm sorry. If I have to come out of pocket, or if there's an opportunity that this money can come from this perpetually, yes, I'm coming out of pocket, and yes, I'm getting the percentage. Yes, I'm getting the equity stake. I learned my lesson at a much smaller scale. I helped the business build up from the ground up, and then I was offered a salary as opposed to a percentage of the profits because I didn't sign the proper paperwork. I didn't put up money up front. Flip. Pay attention. Pay attention. You're mad, but you didn't elaborate on why you were mad. So this is me saying why and what happens and what can happen going forward. If I'm you, I'm asking for the rights for everything back. You got to buy yourself out of the contract. Joe came from the music industry, dog. He got fucked in the music industry. And the thing people don't tell you, because you see it all the time, you see all these rappers start their own music labels and do the same shit to their artists. What they don't tell you when they quote unquote got fucked, which they did, but it's legal. It's not a loophole around the system. This is what happens in this industry. Because we don't care about ownership like that. And this is a point that made me fall in love with the Joe Budden podcast initially, speaking on the ownership and the ways you're supposed to go about getting it. And it's happening right in front of our faces. They're falling for the trap. Joe is giving y'all everything bluntly straight to your face. But y'all are taking it as a joke or as entertainment. But no. And you don't get to make decisions unless you put up money. And I keep speaking on Parks. Parks is the only one that can say something to Joe. You think I didn't put up anything in this business? Nigga, everything we recorded at my house, I have ownership of. I would play those type of games when it came to shit like this. Because there's no way in hell Joe didn't know about this. There's no way in hell. So if I'm Melyssa, I'm looking into the background information to see who owns the rights to that photo. And if I'm Flip, I'm looking at everything that I've done outside of the JBP, but for the JBN. Gotta pay attention to these things, man. Sorry for the long, drawn-out episode today. It was just getting a lot of these thoughts off. I'm still currently watching the episode. I just heard that in real time. It was like, oh my goodness. Is this for real? This can't be COE. So I decided to speak on it. But like the video if you like the video. Subscribe to the page if you haven't. If you have, you know I appreciate you. Y'all be safe out here. I'll see y'all a little later today.